morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching me from. I believe that you're well kept of the Lord and that you are healthy. I'm here to speak to us about something that many people have asked me if I could talk about it or share. And I hope that whatever I'm going to share today will be beneficial to someone. Yes, if you're new on my channel, kindly subscribe, ring the bell. A lot of good things will be coming our ways, and my desire is that you will be part of the people benefiting from what God has graced me to do. So today I want to talk about debts or dealing with debts. The reason why I'm doing this short script is because some years ago I was featured in the Nation newspaper on the business section on how I overcame my debts. And most people have been asking me, so what can I do to overcome the debts? What am I supposed to do? And I realized I can't keep answering every person. So I need to do this so that believing that many of us may benefit from it. So I'll go right straight on it. I will not repeat my story. You will read it. I'll share the link of the story below so that you will read it. But I'll just go right straight on it, on how to deal with debts. First, before we look on how to deal with debts, we need to understand that for someone to be able to deal with debts effectively or to come out of debts effectively, you must first look into the factors that led you into that state. Because most people are looking for solution for debts, yet they are not trying to figure out how did I first get into it. Because if you don't figure out or realize how you got into it, you will be getting out today, tomorrow you bounce back. You get out today, tomorrow you bounce back. My desire is that you will get a solution that will be long term. Yes, that is my utmost desire, because it's something I've seen work in my life, and it can work for anyone as long as you apply the right principles and as long as you're disciplined. So one of the factors that leads people into debts, it's the unfortunate happenings that happens in our lives. We have no or least control over unfortunates, but again, most people who get into debt because of unfortunate situations, majority are able to bounce back if they focus. Another thing is living beyond our means, and this is where most people, I would believe almost 75%, have been imprisoned. Most people live beyond their means, especially those of us, quote unquote, who are called middle class earners, not middle-aged, sorry, middle class earners. Majority lives beyond their means. Why? Because some do a lot of things to fit in or to look like they are in a certain status or in a certain class, yet they're having to dig deep into their pockets to be able to satisfy that lifestyle. And what I want you to realize is anything that you're doing that is beyond your means will lead you into a ditch of debts. And debts are not good. They are more or less like a curse. In fact, you would rather be with nothing other than have debts. Living beyond your means. It's always said that if you are paying, like for instance, your house rent, over 50% of your earning, you're already living beyond your means. Because you will not be able to service other things that you're supposed to service in between the month. And you're also supposed to live a life that enables you to save. Most people live beyond your means because you want to also impress your age mates, impress your society and what have you. If you continue that lifestyle, you will continue to be in debts over and over again. And unfortunately, no amount of prayers will ever save you from this. Non-contentment leads to people living beyond their debts. I won't go so much into details because most of us, and especially women, we want to look like so and so. You don't know where they get their money to furnish their lives the way they do. So because you want to compete with them or to feel like them, you want to do things that you feel to be satisfied. I want to be like so and so, I want to buy a dress like so and so, I want to have a shoe like so and so. If you are not working and it's not money from your own sweat, you are headed to a journey of numerous and numerous debts. And most of you are already there, and you know that I'm talking about you. You're already there, day in crying, day out crying. You go out to window shop, you see a shoe of 2,000, you don't have the 2,000, probably you have 1,000, and you think, I have a Mary who is my friend. You call Mary, Mary gives you 1,000. That's a debt. You didn't even probably need that shoe because you're not buying it out of a need, but out of wants. At this juncture, let me talk about things that we need to factor in life. There are needs and there are wants. Needs are things that you cannot do without. Wants are things that you just want, but you can actually do without. What I realized through my own personal experiment or experience, at some point I used to buy things just because I love it at that juncture. But when you get to the house, I realized I didn't even have a need of it. And it will probably stay there for 6 months, 4 months. It's not being used. Then I ask myself, what am I doing this? So impulse buying is another leader to debts, because many times the things that attract us to spending money are the things that causes us to get into debt. And apparently, let me submit to you, most people don't get into debts like starting with gigantic debts. You start with kidogo kidogo, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. It goes to 15,000. It goes 17, 18, 20, 50. Kidogo kidogo. Then you discover all of a sudden you have a huge debt that you don't know where to begin to sort it out. Those are some of the bad habits that we've employed in our lives because you want to impress a society that does not even care or give a hoot to your life. Please, let's change. For you to be able to overcome debts, there's a lot of disciplines you will have to put in place. There are a lot of disciplines you're going to put in place, and I'll talk about them in a few. Laziness. Some people want a life that they cannot even, afford. I've seen many women, and I'm talking about women because I'm a woman, and I know sometimes we are tempted many times to want what we cannot afford. You see someone with a nice watch. I'm a lover of watches. You want to buy a watch like that one of Triza. You see Triza with a new shoe. You want to buy a shoes like that one of Triza. You see this, you want to do that. You see this with another person, you want to do, but you are not working for starters to earn that money. But you want a high profile life that you cannot fund with your sweat. My darling, you're getting yourself into shit, and a big one at that. And one day you will cry on your own and you will think you have no friends. Let me tell your friends, they are not there to sort you out in your debts that you incurred that you were not supposed to incur. But there are so many debts that people incur that they were not supposed to incur from the first place. That one I can tell you for a fact because I've been there. I remember one time, to accrue my many debts, I was passing by somewhere and I saw something that was costing about 500 and I didn't have the money. So what do? I call my friend. I need this amount of money. And she gives me because she's my friend. Then I put it in the book of debts of the people I owe. Of course, at some point, even the money that I borrowed some money for someone because I wanted to do my music, thinking that the music would work for me. Then, God help me, I've grown so much. Hey, God help me. But then it didn't work out and I had to still pay her. And thankfully to God, she's a friend who understands, and I was able to pay her back. But of course, after engaging in something that was able to give me additional work that could help me to do something. So my question is, what are you doing that will help you to do something that will bring your life into an end of debts, because you got to do something. You will not just wake up one morning and find yourself out of debt if you are in them. Unfortunately, you will not just close your eyes and pray and find yourself out. You will have to put in hard work, put in discipline, deny yourself a lot of things for you to be able to get there. Deny yourself a lot of unnecessary pleasures for you to be able to get there. That tells you where I come from. But you have to do something. Unless you do something, nothing in your life will ever change. And I'm sorry to say so, because this is the truth and the reality. So, for you to be able to come out of your debts, there are 2 questions you need to ask yourself. And if you can answer those questions to yourself correctly, then I can assure you that you will bounce back out of your debts. Number 1, how badly do you want out of debts? How badly do you want out of debts? How badly? Secondly, why do you want out? And is your why strong enough to sustain you throughout the journey? Because it will not happen tomorrow. It will not happen in a day. So it will take you time. It took me almost 1 year end to fully pay up my debts. But because I was committed, dedicated, and disciplined and focused, I was able to. Okay? So way out. Number 1, consolidate your debts. If your debts are consolidatable, consolidate them. Consolidation means if you have debts from Jerry, Kamau, Njoroge, Equity Bank, Comparative Bank, Family Bank, put them together. A financial institution buys off loans. In that, they give you the money to repay. The others, you consolidate them in one channel so that all your money, your debts are being paid on one channel. That didn't happen for me. I didn't know that works that way. I knew that later, and I've seen it help many people. You can consolidate your loans into one channel, and when you're disciplined, it's easier to pay one person than to pay here, there, and everywhere else. Because if you consolidate them, even your interest, for those you're paying with interest, will be much lesser than if you're paying interest to equity, interest to cooperative bank, interest due to where. Consolidate your loans together. Then focus on the results, not the process. Let me tell you, my dear ones, it's not fun. It's not like fun when you know I'm getting 30,000 and I'm supposed to give out 25,000 of that 30,000, and I have to figure out how I'm surviving within the 5,000. It's not fun. But if you're focused on what you want to see, you will get the results. Why? At this point is when you will have to deny yourself a lot of unnecessary things. You don't have to go out for coffee with everyone else. You don't have to buy new shoes, new handbag. You don't have to buy new wigs, wigs, poleni. You don't have to, if you're the person who always have a budget for nails, wherever, you can do your nails on yourself. It's cheaper if you're able to, and you can cut every unnecessary, bills that you have to incur. Every unnecessary bills that comes your way. In fact, can't even promising people I will give you this when they have functions. No one will ever kill you because you did not contribute for their wedding or you did not contribute for their whatever. No one will ever kill you, because at the same time you must realize you have yourself to deal with the debts, not the community, yourself. So deal with them first. People may not understand you at that point, but keep the focus on what do I want to achieve? What do I want? What am I doing? What am I up to? Keep to it. It will strain you a little bit. It will deny you some bit of luxuries, but you know what? You will get there. Everyone who is where they are and enjoying, they denied themselves something at some point to get there. You can't have it all and get it all. They say you can't eat your cake and still have it. You must be willing to foot that bill of luxury. The other factor, you must be deliberate. deliberate on, I will not buy another shoe if I already have enough shoes. I will not do this, that, or the other. And on those things that I've said that you need to cut them, cut them. If you don't need them, please cut them. They will help you overcome your debts. Because you realize if you're spending, let's say, like there's a time I used to buy shoes every month. Of course, that's after the debts. But then I realized I'm also wasting my life and I can do other things better than that. I still buy shoes and I love them, but not every other month. So you cut what is not necessary. Because I realized if I have, if I have like 15 pair of shoes, that is for example, I can't put on 15 pair of shoes one day. If you have 5 wigs, you can't put them on one day. If you have 3 phones, you can't be using the 3 phones at the same time. Because I've seen people in debts because I had a friend, yeye pesa yake akipata mshahara, kazi yake ilikuwa to look for the next new phone and buy. He later realized he's in shit. And it happens. It happens. Because when we are uncontented and want to live beyond our means, we'll find ourselves there. When we want to compete with the society, listen to me, my dear ones. Nobody gives a hoot about your life. Nobody cares, literally. Other than your parents, maybe your children, maybe your spouse, and God. The rest of us, we don't care. I'm sorry to say. And even if we care, we will be like, oh yeah, Paul, you'll come out of it. God atakuhelp. But trust you me, I'm not taking anyone's debts to pay. Maybe for my parents, not for anyone else, and with a reason. Maybe for my siblings, and again with a reason. So please, please stop pleasing the society at the detriment of your own life. Please stop pleasing the society. In life now on social media, trust you me, majority are living a lie. I can write for you 1, 2, 3 people are living a lie. Because we know these people outside the social media. So please, please, please don't compete with social media. Live your life, save yourself. The other thing I've said, reduce unnecessary spending. Get a business that works for you. Get a business that works for you. And this is the other trick. Personally, network worked for me. I joined Forever Living. It's a networking company. It's a multinational working company. So you buy products, you sell products, you recommend products. It worked for me. Why? Because number one, when I was getting the product, I needed to use them for my own self. I needed to use them for my mom. They have awesome products for supplementing, for arthritis, diabetes, and what have you. Personally, I had sinuses and they came in through for me like, yo, I'm grateful to God. So personally, I use the product. So, and every time I was recommending, and I still do recommend the products to people today, I recommend out of experience, not out of hula baloo of making money. And of course, I started making money. And the